Today we're doing the back, biceps, and abs workout for my 12-week Shortcut to Size program. This is phase 1, microcycle 1, which means we're going to be doing reps in the 12 to 15 range. Now, as you progress through microcycles, weight's going to increase each time, reps will decrease. First exercise we're going to do is a dumbbell row. Even though the weights are fairly light, I'll still do one warm-up set before I get to my working set. Now, most of you are probably used to seeing the one-arm dumbbell row performed on a flat bench with a knee braced on the bench and the arm. A lot of people think that this reduces the stress on the lower back when you do dumbbell rows. However, this actually increases the stress on the lower back because you have your knee braced, so the only joint that's absorbing the force is at the hips and your lower back. I like to do them standing with my hand braced on either an incline bench or at the dumbbell rack, because now I have more joints to absorb the force and reduce it on my lower back. So I've got the ankles, the knees, and the hips. This all helps to reduce the stress on the lower back when you're doing dumbbell rows. And don't forget your music. Strength increases are important during this program. Music is a big help. All right, I'm up to my working weight. We're going to do 4 sets since this is the first exercise for back. Now remember, the first exercise is basically your barometer for your strength progress. So mark down the weight you use as well as the number of reps you complete on each set so you can see how you progress through the microcycles and also through the phases. Another thing I recommend you use for back are straps. Do your back a favor, use straps on every set. One study I did with the Reader Research Group found that when trained bodybuilders used straps during a back workout, they were able to complete 1 to 2 more reps on every single set of every exercise. Those 1 to 2 reps can make a huge difference in the muscle mass gains that you see during this program. This is the 4th set of dumbbell rows, and that's the last set. And the last set of every exercise, in microcycles 1 and 2, we finish with a rest pause. Rest pause, you're gonna take the set to failure, give yourself a quick 15 to 20 second rest, pick the weight back up, get as many reps as you can. Now it's time for the second back exercise, wide grip pull downs. We'll be using an overhand grip to target more of the outer lats. Now we're down to 3 sets per exercise. Remember, still use your straps. I usually don't go with a warm up on this second exercise, but feel free to do a light one if you want to before you get to your working set weight. Third and final set of pull downs. We're going to finish them off with some rest pause. Third exercise for back is an exercise I call standing lat pull downs. It's a bit of a novel exercise that most of you probably don't do. You typically sit down in the pull down like exercise number 2 and do your pull downs. But what I like about this is you're going to be standing here and leaning back doing a pull down. So it basically combines, due to the angle that you're pulling at, it's kind of a cross between a pull down and a row. So it's an angle in between that you normally don't hit, which means you're going to target different muscle fibers of the lats, and it's important to target as many muscle fibers as you can for the best overall muscle growth. Third set of standing pull downs, we're going to conclude with a rest pause. We're now into the fourth and final exercise for back. It's a straight arm pull down. Now, for most muscle groups, you have exercises that are either multi-joint or single joint. For example, with chest, the bench press is a multi-joint exercise. It involves movement at both the shoulders and the elbows. Flies, on the other hand, for chest, only involve movement at the shoulder joint, so it's a single joint exercise. When you think of back exercises, you mainly have some form of rows or some form of pull downs. Now, both pull downs and rows involve movement at the elbow joint, movement at the shoulder joint. So almost all back exercises are multi-joint exercises. The straight arm pull down, however, is one of the very few single joint exercises that you can do for back. Why do you want to do a single joint exercise? Well, when you have movement at only one joint, it better targets that muscle fiber that you're trying to hit, in this case, the lats. All right, it's the third set, straight arm pull downs. And you know what that means. I'm gonna finish it off with my favorite intensity technique, rest pause. Finished up back, now we're gonna move on to biceps. First exercise is the barbell curl. You've already used your buys to assist your back, so your buys are fairly warmed up. It's your call whether or not you wanna do a warm-up set. I like to do a warm-up set because I go fairly heavy. Even if it's just the bar and you pump out a few reps, just do something before you work up to your working weight. With the barbell curl, one of the tricks I like to use is to change up the grip width. I do the first two sets with a narrow grip. This targets more of the outer head of the biceps. The last two sets, I'll do a wider grip, which involves more of the short inner head of the biceps. You also tend to be a bit stronger with a wider grip, so that'll help you stick in the rep range as you're getting in those later sets on barbell curls. On to the fourth and final set of barbell curls. So we treat the biceps with some rest pause to really burn them out. Moving on to the second exercise for biceps, incline dumbbell curls. Now our sets per exercise will drop to 3. On the incline dumbbell curl, the focus is more on the long or outer head of the biceps. When you bring your arms behind the body and perform the curls, it puts a stretch on the long head of the biceps that allows you to focus more of the stress on that part of the bicep, and that's what gives you the bicep peak. Third set of incline dumbbell curls, and if you've been paying attention, you know what that means. We're gonna finish it out with rest pause. We're on to the third exercise for biceps, the one arm high cable curl. This is also the last exercise for biceps. After this, we're gonna move into some ab training. Now, with the one arm high cable curl, like with the barbell curl, when you take a wide grip, your arms turn out, it focuses more on the short head or the inner head of the biceps. So when you're doing this exercise with the arm turned out, you're focusing on this part, the inner head. We just finished doing the incline dumbbell curl, where with the arms behind our body, we focus more on the outer head. So now we're switching from focusing on the outer head of the biceps to more focus on the inner head. That's important for overall biceps growth. Third and final set of the one arm high cable curl. Biceps are already screaming, but we're gonna finish them off with one more rest pause. Again, remember, when you're doing single arm exercises like this, you're gonna reach muscle failure, one arm at a time, then go right into the rest pause before switching to the other arm. Moving on to abs. Now with abs, the rep ranges will be a little bit higher during microcycle 1 than the main muscle groups. So we'll be focusing on reps in the 20 to 30 range, and that's because abs as well as calves are muscle groups that tend to do better when you hit them with higher reps. Again, just like with all the other muscle groups, as we progress through the microcycles, we'll decrease the rep range. We're gonna start by doing lower abs. I typically recommend to start your ab work with lower ab work because the lower abs tend to be the weaker area of the abdominals. So train them while you're at your strongest and your abs aren't already fatigued. Then you can follow up with other upper ab exercises like the typical crunch. We're at the third set for hip thrust. So just like the other muscle groups, we're gonna finish this off with a rest pause set. Again, gonna reach muscle failure. Take a quick 15 to 20 second break and keep doing hip thrusts to reach muscle failure again. Second exercise for abs is a standard crunch. Now we've gone from the hip thrust, which focuses more on the lower abs, to standard crunch, which focuses more on the upper abs. I like to do my reps as explosively as possible on crunches, and that's due to a recent study that found that when subjects did their reps in a fast, explosive manner on the way up, controlling on the way down, they used more abdominal muscle fibers. They also used more oblique muscle fibers, essentially turning the crunch from just an ab exercise into an ab and oblique exercise. Third and final set of crunches. If your abs aren't screaming by this point in the workout, wait till you finish this set with the rest pause. This is the final exercise for our ab training. We're going to do the oblique crunch, moving the focus now to the obliques. So we've hit all three main areas of the midsection: lower abs, upper abs, and now we're focusing more on the obliques. Again, it's going to be 20 to 30 reps. That's per side. And finally, we're at the last set of oblique crunches, and that's the last set of this workout. We're going to finish off the obliques with some rest pause. Remember, we're doing both sides, so you're going to do rest pause on one side before doing the reps, and then the rest pause on the other side. I'm starting with right side, finish out my reps, go to failure, then I'll do the rest pause, then I'll turn, do the same on the left side. That was your back, biceps, and abs workout of my 12-week Shortcut to Size program for phase 1, microcycle 1. Be sure to check out all the other videos before starting the program right here at bodybuilding.com.